Good morning, beautiful people. It's your boy Shannon Coleman Sr., aka The Rev. It's Friday. We got a busy week ahead of us next week. But today, this evening, Word of Faith Outreach and Deliverance Ministries, 21 Main Street, Darby, PA. Apostle Byron Hope Lampkin and Pastor Patricia Lampkin leaders. We're doing our pep rally to launch our evangelistic effort in the community. Come on out. Join us. Let's get this thing together. Let's work together so that we can start rebuilding, restructuring our community so that we can get these babies, these young people off these streets and put them into some programs that will help them to develop into the men and women of God that they were created to be. I understand everybody has all a different faiths and beliefs and religious practices and rituals and all of that other stuff. But I'm just trying to get our children involved in something other than drugs and guns and sexual promiscuity. There's other things in life that they could be accomplishing. But we have to take a stand and stand firm on what it is that we believe and get back to loving God and community and family so that our children can see that it's more to life than this. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about the next generation. It's about God taking the next generation across the Jordan and letting them and helping them and giving them the promises that they will possess the land. If we want our children to possess the land, they have to first understand who God is and begin to walk in holiness. God is a holy God. So we have to be holy children. Not saying that we're not going to make mistakes. Not saying that we're not going to fumble. But when we make mistakes and when we fumble, we learn from it. We pick the ball up and we continue to run our race. This is not a sprint. It's a marathon. Although time is winding down, so we got to pick up the pace. We have to pick up the pace. We have to train our children up so that they can become disciple makers, so that they can become multipliers, so that they can go back into their communities and talk to their homies and let their homies know, look, this is not it. We cannot continue to allow our children to fall into the status quo that society say that they are, because they're allowing themselves, they're making the choices, don't get it wrong, but they're allowing themselves to be convinced that this is the way to go. Because their homies are influencing them instead of them influencing their homies. They're going down instead of pulling their homies up. Why? Because they don't have a chain. They don't have a link. They don't have anybody that's standing beside them and saying, look, I know you made a mistake last night. I know you smashed that joint last night. I know you smoked that weed last night. I know you went out there, got tatted, got piercings and got all this stuff. But God still loves you and he has something for you and he wants you to do something. So come on in. Let's clean up and let's keep moving forward to the purpose and calling that God has for your life. Come on now. If God would have just threw Peter away for denying him, Pentecost wouldn't have happened. If God would have threw Saul away and not, converted him to Paul, that great evangelistic effort that Paul did would not have happened. If God would have threw David away, Solomon, if God would have just threw these people away because they made mistakes, we wouldn't have what we have today. So church, we have to begin to stop looking at the outward. We have to stop looking at the things that they're doing outwardly and look at the heart of the person. People are suffering. They are hurting. Jesus said when they caught the woman in adultery, and that story always makes me think, because it's like, where was the man at? Was he one of the ones throwing the stones? Anyway, so when he caught the woman in adultery and they were going to stone her, and Jesus said, he who is without sin cast the first stone, and everybody walked away. He rose, he told her, sin no more. But he still told her to go, and she evangelized. The woman at the well, she evangelized. And Jesus knew she was out there whoring and scoring. He didn't condemn her. The word convicted. And she began to walk upright. So imagine if we did that to people. Instead of telling them, you can't sing on a praise and worship team. You can't do this. You can't do that because you're not living right. If we say, you know what? I know you did this, but I'm asking you to stop doing that. And we allow them to go forth. And what it is that God called them to go forth to. How many people will be converted and changed and willing to walk away from their sin? If we stop condemning people and let God convict and clean them up, imagine how many people will be saved. You can't say you got to first clean up and then come to Christ. What? No, God said, I will clean you up. Come to me, all ye that's weary and heavy laden. Come to me. You got all these burdens. You got all these things on you. Come to me and I will give you rest. I will clean you up. I will make sure that everything is okay. If we try to do it with our own power and on our own accord, with our own strength, it's not going to work. In our weakness, he is made strong. Let his strength prevail. And stop looking at these young boys and young girls with their outward appearance. We've all sinned and fall short of the glory of God. It's through his sovereign grace that we are saved and that we are made whole. If we start allowing people to come in as they are, and then let God begin to clean them up, because the word is going to convict if the word is rich. We're not going to have to condemn and preach and tear people down to try to make them do what's right. God's going to do it. Let his power change these people. And we just do what he called us to do. The church is full of flawed human beings. But it's in Jesus. It's in Yeshua. It's in his power that we are made joint heirs with the Father, with him. So let's try to change this thing around a little bit, my people. And let's show some love and grace and mercy. Just like God did it for you. I love you all with the love of God. Ain't nothing you can do about it. We can do all things through Christ that gives us strength. And never forget, I am my brother's keeper. And I'm also my sister's protector. And so are you. Peace.